that Mortgage News Daily, and I'll share these in the chat as well. Can you guys see my screen yet?
No, nothing yet.
It is sharing a window. Okay, I'm going to stop sharing and try that again. Apparently something went wrong there. And I'll just share the tab. So can you guys see the screen now?
No.
Yet still no.
Huh.
You may just have to tell us.
Yeah, I'll
share
just
the
tell you, there's a website that tracks the 30-year mortgage rates. An error occurred while screen sharing. So I'll put the links in the chat. Mortgage News Daily shows the average 30-year fixed mortgage rates every day, and so that's what I use to track where average mortgage rates are. And as you know, they've been hovering right near 8%. Pulled back a little bit from the high within the last couple of weeks. You got the Fed that is going to be making their announcement on rates tomorrow afternoon East Coast time. There's a 97.1% chance that they're not going to move rates tomorrow. There's another website I'll link in the chat, the CME group. It's called the CME Fed Watch tool, and that way you can tell what the Fed's going to be doing. It's based on actual people betting or investing in futures on what's happening, and that way you can tell 97% chance they're not going to move tomorrow. And then in December, you can see it's a 68.9% chance they're not going to move, and only a 29% chance they're going to be raising, and a 2% chance they're going to be lowering rates. And then if you look out to January, and it goes all the way through December of next year, and you can see most likely we're not going to see any more rate hikes from the Fed. There is a chance you might see one more, but based on current data and current expectations, they're not going to be doing any more raises. So we're pretty much done, if not one more raise on the short-term rates. And there's also what they call a dot plot, where all the members of the FOMC, the Federal Reserve Open Market Committee, they project where the Fed funds rate is going to be. And you can see for the next few years, all of them project rates to come down on the short-term rates. And the long-term rates, as I mentioned last time, are we have an inverted yield curve. The long-term rates go on expectations of where rates are going to be longer term and where inflation is going to be. There's also a market probability tracker showing where the Fed rates are likely to go, and that also shows rates coming down over the next couple of years. So that's why a lot of people are expecting rates to come down. There's also a pretty cool core trend inflation chart showing that the core inflation, using a different measure that doesn't use such lagging shelter data that the CPI uses, that shows that that the inflation is already near the 2% Fed target rate. So all these things and everything I mentioned last time are showing that the Fed and interest rates overall, and one other factor is that mortgage rates typically have had about a 2% premium to 10-year treasuries. Right now, 10-year treasuries are in the upper 4s and mortgage rates are near 8. So it's actually a 3% spread between the mortgage rates and 10-year treasuries. So that's likely going to go down to historical norms after all this volatility is over. And so we'll see, even if long-term rates didn't drop, we could see mortgage rates drop with the compression of that spread. So just wanted to give you guys that update. So look for the Fed not to hike rates tomorrow. It'd be a big surprise with 97% of traders thinking that they're not going to hike tomorrow. But I'll go ahead and put these all in there's a chat here I can put them in.
The chat at the bottom there, Duncan.
But there's pretty cool tools that'll tell you what's going to be happening and gives you a pretty good indication that rates, longer term rates, are going to be coming down. I also have a chart showing that the expectations for Fed funds rates a year from now have risen dramatically from July because of some of the economic reports being stronger than expected. They've gone up about 1% from July. And that's why mortgage rates have moved up since July, when the Fed hasn't even hiked the short-term rates since July. The yield curve has flattened out, and those expectations are topping out now. And so we should see rates next year drop back down, especially if we get in a recession, as the M2 money supply indicates that we should be getting a recession next year, at least later next year. So anyway, just wanted to give you that mortgage minute so you can get an update on where rates are and what's likely going to happen in the next few months. Feel free to reach out anytime with any questions, and I'll go into the chat here and put those links.
Yep. Appreciate that.
Oh, I see. I got it.
Here we go. Awesome. Thank you, Duncan. So that's some good news right there. Hopefully we can see a cap out at some rates. We're not going to have more issues there since it's a conversation, obviously, with a lot of people. And that might obviously enhance and help our business out moving forward in 2024. So some light in the tunnel. Thank you, Duncan, for that always. Appreciate that.
Pleasure.
All right.
Hey, Chris.
Thanks a lot. Okay, moving forward. Awesome. Again, welcome everybody that kind of just chimed in. Happy Tuesday. Hope you're all doing well. We have a guest speaker today, an amazing guest speaker today, by the way. Ronnie, you had a hand raised there, buddy. What's going on? What question you got?
I had it raised, still raised. I was a little slow there on the good news, but I see if you see Tyler Owens there in his car, he's one of our newest satellite team members up in Spokane, Washington, where they've already had their first snow of the year. So welcome, Tyler, and his working buddy, Michael Eimer. And also thanks to Dylan and his crew that came over and infused energy on Kauai last week. I think we got a couple new team members, if I see all the paperwork going back and forth. So pretty exciting.
Awesome. Well, congratulations. Welcome. He just moved my camera. Tyler, welcome, sir.
And I'm here listening, but I'm at work doing Army shit, so I'm on camera off. See you guys later.
I love it, brother. Do your thing, bro. Appreciate you. Thank you for your service. Tyler, welcome, sir. Welcome to the group. Excited to have you.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Good to be here. Excited for sure.
Yes. Awesome. All the way from Spokane, Washington. Yes.
That's right. Nice and chill. I'm here in Costco just hanging out, trying to get some candy because we procrastinated. Got to pass that stuff out tonight. So,
like everybody else.
That's
All
right.
Awesome. Well, we look forward to having you part of the team. You should be receiving an email or text from me shortly, I think, in my back-end office, so you'll get something. Awesome. All right. Well, moving on here, we got an amazing guest speaker today, Stacie Peterson, who came out to Roseville. Thank you very much, Stacie. Back here in 2023, it was 2022. I think she was getting us ready. Brent brought her out. She's an amazing coach, mentor, trainer, real estate forever, but just a huge influence on the real estate industry. She's came to EXP, and she came into an entire business planning clinic. By the way, I did R&D that, just Stacie. Thank you very much. I did it right here in Honolulu. We duplicated off that bad boy. It's what we're all about. People share at EXP. She shared everything. So I took her model. We did it out here in Honolulu for our business planning clinic about 3 weeks ago. Anyway, so I wanted to have her on the call because she's amazing, full of energy, and has so much insight on her business and her career. Want to share with us some of her stories, how she got to EXP, and whatever else she has up her sleeve on helping us right now navigate through this crazy market. Stacie, thank you so much for taking time out of your day. We're blessed to have you.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here. I appreciate the invitation. And there's a few things that I want you guys to know that you're going to get out of the call from me. So number one, I'm an open book. I love to share what's worked, what doesn't. So no questions are off limits, and I'll hold nothing back. Second, I was trying to decide what would be something good that I could share and maybe just a little bit of a different take. And since everybody right now, like Chris just mentioned, I just did another business planning clinic like last week. Everybody's kind of talking business plan right now, but not a lot of people are talking about increasing your income. They're talking about selling more houses. They're talking about, what tools do you need? Maybe what do you have to buy? And so I'm going to go on to the revenue share side. If for some reason you don't participate in revenue share, don't worry. Just switch everything I say to production and it will 100% work. I do not believe it's either or at all. Not at all. So that's another thing that you'll learn today is just elements of helping you sponsor more, or like I said, you can shift it to elements to help you sell more. And then lastly, sometimes when people present, we sort of either listen with a closed mind. So we're like, I've heard all this before. This is nothing unique. No, it's not. Nope. Didn't make up any of it. Or maybe sometimes we put them on even a pedestal, like, oh my gosh, they did all this, like they're so much ahead of me. I don't even know if I could start. Like, what do I do? And I just want you to know that I am literally the same as you. I've been selling real estate for a long time. I'll tell you my story in a second. And I've just found different ways to scale. So scale my business and then scale revenue share. And one of my very favorite things is like automation and systems. So business is just a system of systems. And so if you have any interest in creating something so you don't have to like reinvent the wheel every time, you can do everything that I'm talking about today. So I will share my screen, tell you a little bit about my story, and then we'll jump into it. And then I'm happy to leave time for Q&A, and you can ask questions about revenue share, production, you know, whatever, because I've been in your shoes and I've been coaching realtors for the last 10 years, a lot of top agents and teams. So I kind of get to see every scenario, every environment. So happy to share all of that. So I shall share here. Okay. And can you see my screen?
Yeah, we got there. Elements that help your sponsor more agents.
Perfection. Okay. So that's what we're going to talk about today. Elements that help you sponsor more. Now, does it say this is the exact roadmap? Don't edit this, you know, don't change a thing. No, it doesn't. These are just things that have worked for me. And then I'm a good copycatter. So if somebody says this is working for them and I can get behind it and it fits my personality and it fits my work ethic and it fits my design, then I'll copy it. If not, I let it go, right? We go to a lot of conferences, we hear a lot of things. Some is worth it, some isn't. So a little bit about me. I'm a wife, mom. I have 2 kids. I live in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. We have also had our first snow, and I feel like it is just freezing here. It is 31 degrees. So it's cold.
Yeah.
Biggest production year as a single agent, I sold 41 homes in 7 months. I had a big why. I was pregnant, and so had a baby, and actually ended up taking the rest of the year off. So that was awesome, but then had to start over again, right? And rebuild. Built a team that went from 0 to 300 sales in 5 years, and I sold that team for a 7-figure valuation. I coach for Real Estate B School and coach individually, and then became CEO of that company. And 3 years ago, I joined EXP. I'm in the top 100 with 600 it varies between about 580 and 600 agents in my organization, depending on the month, right? And that's what you're all experiencing too with sales, right? It's up, it's down. You thought you had one closing, it didn't. Same with agents, right? We're selling, we're not, they're leaving, they're joining. So it's a little bit of a rocky roller coaster. And I call it my superpower is I help agents build systems and leverage with the business activities that bog them down. So why revenue share? Like I said, I don't think it's an either or. I think it's a do together. And here's why. Did you know that $500 a month would prevent half of the bankruptcies in the United States? So what that means is it's pretty easy to build $500 a month with RevShare. And easy meaning if you do the things that you can do to help agents see this as a viable platform. We're not asking them to adopt everything that we do. We're not asking them to change their whole lifestyle. We're saying, hey, we've got a really great platform that could just add additional wind to your sales. That's it. Let's take a look. Let's see if it works. Okay. Another reason why RevShare is to breathe life into your day. Most days we aren't really connecting with other agents except on issues with a deal or maybe, hey, I've got to show this house or something. This creates a community of like-minded individuals coming together to build a bigger future. Like all of you have this great call. You've got great energy here. Why not invite other people to that, right? Again, you're not having to take on their business and solve all their problems. The platform takes care of that. You're just saying, come join our community. Like this is better than going at it alone. Another reason, provide a plan for your family and for the future. So most realtors are not entrepreneurs. They're just self-employed. Okay. And when you really think about that, why is that? It's because most agents don't build a business. And a business is something, like I mentioned, is a system of systems. So it's something that can run with you when it needs to, but it also produces income when you're not there. That's a true business. So building residual income allows money to flow in without doing everything. I didn't say without doing anything, but without doing every single thing. And look, you might say, I just want to concentrate on selling. Like, I need income. 100%. You have to go where the money is the quickest. But again, these are long-term plays to help agents trust you as a value add to the market. Also, again, like how we're different. So why wouldn't you want to put something into your business that allows options for you to maybe only list the properties you want to, or only work with the clients that you want to, or take a vacation without your phone like blowing up so much. So this allows you to build something alongside your day-to-day. And then lastly, I think one of the hardest, but also the most fun, is growing as a leader. So most likely, you know, you were meant for more. You kind of have this like little like nudge, and I like to call it whispers, right? And if you're a Christian, it could be from God. If you have different beliefs, it could be something else, but it's this whisper, right? And those whispers only come for so long, saying, you're meant for more. We need you. Like, you have so much value. You're worthy. All those things, when you answer that calling, you'll get another one. When you answer that one, you'll get another one. But if you keep resisting it, you're actually taking away your gifts from other people, which is leadership. We're all leaders, but we can be good leaders or we can be great leaders. So go after your dreams and don't allow someone else to accomplish what you wanted to set out to do. Okay, so these are the elements of attracting more. So first of all, and like I said, I could have just had this screen say how to do more deals in 2024, and it is literally the same thing, right? Because you have to figure out why these people need to move. People are not going to just move for fun right now, right? We're looking for the people that are moving because they probably had a life event, right? Or same with agents. There's some pain in there. They're not reaching their goals. They don't have anybody to collaborate with. They don't get training for free. They're going to have to spend $30,000 a year on coaching if they want to take their business to the next level. They sure as heck probably don't get stock. They don't get healthcare. And the company isn't paying them just to be there, right? Like if you're Icon, we get that back. Questions to go deeper. We really want, and I'm probably going too deep because I have a slide on every single one of these, right? But questions to go deeper, ask them next steps, objection handlers, tell stories, and then ultimately show them EXP. So let's talk about finding their pain points. This is a framework. I think it came from Tony Robbins. I honestly don't know. You've probably heard this before. But generally, we try to take someone from a positive present to a negative future, right? Like, if you don't do this, or like maybe you're doing good, but if you don't join me, or if you don't sell your house with me, things won't be great. We do not buy through numbers. We don't join people for numbers. We join people because we feel like they can get us to the next level. People list with you or buy with you because they feel like you can get them to their next level, whatever that is. So we take them from a positive present. What's going good in your business right now? Like, I'm sure you're doing something great, right? So we're finding out what's good for them. Then what has to happen in your business for change? Like, you're kind of bringing them to the negative. So like, what has to change in order for you to make your new goals happen, or next year's goals, or maybe you came up short? Then you take them to the negative future. Like, what if things don't change? What would happen? Well, if somebody said, I want to move to South Dakota, right? Because my brother lives there, okay? And you're like, okay, well, what has to change in order for that to happen? Well, I have to sell a house, or I have to sell my house, or I have to sell all my belongings. Okay, well, what happens if you don't make it to South Dakota on your timeline? Well, crap, I'm missing out on all the reasons I wanted to go, or right? So you can use it for attraction, you can use it for business. So you take them to that negative future and then you bring them to the positive future. Like, what would it feel like to spend your this Christmas with your brother and his family? Would that not be so amazing? Oh my gosh, I can see you guys like sitting around the tree and just having this great family get together. That would be great. Same with attraction. What's going good in your business right now? Well, I like my brokerage. I like my broker. That is awesome. I think it's so cool when agents can find a bond with people in their office. So what has to change in order for you to make your business goals happen? Well, I have to do more. Okay, well, you told me you were already overwhelmed and you were busy and, you're paying for definitely a lot of resources. So what happens if things don't change? Do you continue to buy more? Do you continue to pay more? What's the plan? And you get them thinking. You didn't say, well, your brokerage is crap. They don't offer any training. They don't have this cool community call like we do. They don't have anything. No, we didn't say that. You're taking their pain and just trying to dive deeper. And then you say, well, what would it feel like if you could join our community call? Why don't you join our community call next week? I'm not asking you to jump up and change brokerages. Why don't you see if our community is a fit? I think you're going to learn about mortgages. You're going to learn about the market. There's probably a guest speaker. Chris does an amazing job. I'd just love to connect you. Okay. Right. That was so much easier than, have you ever heard of EXP? Yes. Okay. Why didn't you join? I don't know, because I like where I'm at. Oh, okay. Well, if you ever think of changing, let me know. Right. Totally different conversation. This all strings into asking deeper questions. So when you're trying to find out from somebody what doesn't work, because just like if you would come to me and say, how's your day? What would I probably say? Good, right? That's about it. Because maybe I'm not even totally thinking about everything. So asking deeper questions helps them self-discover. The technology platform that your brokerage provides, does it help you make more money and close more deals? And do they give you your own website, where if you leave, it's yours? Is your CRM attached to it? Do you have to pay for that? Just asking those. Education. How do you rate your brokerage on educating you and helping you in today's market and what's happening all over the country? Are they helping to improve your skills and investing in you? You're investing in them every time you sell a house. Are they investing in you and doing any of that? Offer other options. How would you rate your current brokerage on their ability to allow you to go anywhere in your state? Can you give cash offers? Do they back that? Do they give you leads, right? That's the biggest question right now. How am I going to get leads? Stock. Do they provide you equity, ownership, any of that, right? And then how would you rate your brokerage on allowing you to create residual income or share in the gross revenue? Because because of your good reputation, you're helping them grow. So it's just being curious. And your script may look very different, but that's an idea. Then you talk about next steps. So use a presentation to show them how looking at this model could help when they're open. So next steps is not step one, right? Then utilize the three-way call. You guys all know about it. But what that does is when we talk about, community and we give and we share, but we don't get them on a call with multiple people, it doesn't really look much different. It looks like they walked into another bricks and mortar and met with somebody in there instead of, let me have you meet this guy. Let me have you meet this girl. Oh my gosh, I went to this event and I met this person. Their story is so similar to yours. I think you'd enjoy it. Here's a video, right? Everything's recorded. Everybody's got their stories out there. Show them all the benefits by you being a great concierge, pointing them in the way that they can go to make what they want happen, right? Their dreams come true. Training. Invite them. And I use that example of your training. Invite them to this. Even if, it's not, let's say somebody here is a guest on the call today. And you're like, man, I just need to know how to sell houses. I didn't know this was going to be about rev share because that's specific to EXP. Yes, it is, but there's definitely something you can gain from it to use in your own business, right? And we talked about an open mind. And then events. Lots of events, love the events. That really helps people to experience it firsthand. We want people to experience what we have before they come, because then they feel more welcome. Objection handlers. When I first started EXP, I had this notebook. It's actually right here. And I used this thing constantly. Like, look, it's like already constantly with what I was selling, right? So I had to know exactly what EXP was about. So like the cap, the cut, the icon program, the teams, stocks, equity, revenue share, all right here. Okay. Then I also had the objections I was getting, and then I would ask people or listen to what others would say about these objections, right? I guess I don't need to find it in this notebook. Anyway, it was all in here. So when you're handling an objection, you don't always have to have the answer. It's just acknowledging, like, yeah, I understand, or, oh, that makes sense. I could see how you would think that, or I could see how that would feel for you. And then you're isolating it, right? And then handling it, and then asking them again to take a next step with you, or dive deeper, or, you know what, I don't have the answer for that, but I know Chris could explain it in like 10 minutes, what would take me an hour to fumble through. So again, it's not a hard sale. It is trying to cultivate this relationship. And they're telling you that I just have more questions. I need to do more due diligence. Or it's your responsibility to dig deeper into my objections so I can articulate them well. And then telling stories. So knowing other people's stories. You do that by going to events, right? Being active in EXP. There's plenty of ways to do that. Knowing your specific organization and community. And then kind of have this like bank of multiple types of stories. So sold more homes, exited production, who became more profitable, maybe who took more vacations, who purchased investment properties. Actually in my organization, after Shireen did her talk in, I think it was Dallas that you talked, Shireen, and so many people have repeated her story in our organization. So it doesn't just have to be in your own. Like, that story resonated. Hey, this is how I sold more homes. This is how I cultivated my SOI. I did special things for other agents. See, I even remember what she was talking about, because that story is good to memorize or remember the remarkable elements to you, so you can repeat those to make others understand why it's special to be here. And why you? Why are you a better fit for them based off of what they told you they needed? So tell them a story about what it did for you, or why you looked into it. Maybe just why you stopped for a second to understand it. And I'm a numbers person in some ways, so I like to run numbers, but remember, even if you know it's going to save them thousands, they most likely won't jump just for that. It is usually something else. So stories allow you to infuse that into their journey and them transferring over. And then remember, I mentioned that we want them to know what it feels like to be here before being here. So give them the grand tour, show them KB Core, show them SkySlope, show them what tech support looks like, show them Luna, show them onboarding, your state broker, accounting, the world tour, enterprise. Like, people don't understand why we're not full of bricks and mortar and how they would get support. So you show them, click of a button, show them the welcome area at the world. I always say, this is like your front desk person, the person that you always ask, like, hey, where's the stapler at, or for questions you ask them. We have that, except she can talk to us, drop links, tell us where to go. And we have, 2,000 employees at EXP that can help you. We are highly specialized. Our broker isn't writing checks, doing payroll, trying to hire staff, running all the trainings. No, our state broker, their whole job is to help our agents with their challenges and get more deals done. Our education department is there to help us be trained by the best people at EXP because we're all financially and culturally aligned, and they share their best practices with us. And so it's just showing them that, right? Allowing them to be a part of that. So that is kind of what I feel are the best elements of sharing this opportunity and just talking through it. So I'm happy to answer any questions, or if you have comments or objections, whatever they are, we can just open it up.
I love that presentation, by the way. And I think it's unique, the fact that you're right. Both of those methods, the time, energy, and effort in both sides are very relevant. Whether it's your production business or whether it's a traction business, those same time, energy, and efforts are required on both ends of that. And that's such a hard task for people to really, I think, understand or wrap their hands around, because it's like they have to put a different hat on. And you don't have to put a different hat on. It's a relationship-based business. Your production business is relationship-based. Your agent attraction business is relationship-based. It's all about having amazing relationships. One of the things that we'll put in there is that residual piece I want to talk about. The long piece is it takes in place of life experiences, because in fact, most of us, we went to Rick Jiha's funeral, who passed away unexpectedly. The reality is that man's been in the real estate industry for 45 years. 45 years he's been in the real estate industry, and he's been an icon in the industry, and he's built tons of relationships, had amazing business. And the reality is he's built an amazing EXP revenue share business too, that now that he is gone, God rest his soul, may rest in peace, his entire family and legacy of family of generations will be long taken care of. Mm-hmm. If this happened to him 4 or 5 years ago, they'd be dead in the water. And nobody would have known that he was going to pass away. He didn't know. Nobody does. Tomorrow's never promised. So I'm not trying to sell this to you as like some sad, empathetic thing. It's reality. Reality is nothing's ever promised. We have to keep working every day. But in reality, EXP has changed his entire family's life and saved it at the same time, because he's built something now that will continue on. I just want to add that piece that I don't think people really think about that part. Like, I've been, and he's in the business for 45 years. 45 years. Yeah. And then it'd be gone, and it would be gone. Like literally. Now it doesn't. It lives on for the rest of his grandchildren's life, and grandchildren's lives. Just a huge piece to keep in mind. What you're building is long-term business. So yeah, no, thank you for that, Stacie. Just want to put that in there real quick too. That's it's life-changing. It really is.
Yeah. And the cool thing is they can grow it, right? So ours isn't just sit and collect money. They can grow that revenue share. And so that allows them new opportunities too, and ownership and pride. Like, my dad, my grandpa, whoever's in the tree, my husband I can continue to grow it. And it makes a huge difference instead of, like a monthly stipend. They have the opportunity to be a part of it, which is cool.
That's a great story to tell too, Chris, I think. That obviously hit home when you went to the funeral and seeing all those people there and how he's built this huge organization.
Huge.
So good story.
It's definitely real. It's real, and it can affect anybody, anytime.
Yeah. Another thing that actually a different EXP agent brought to me yesterday.
Got a quick tip on that.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, if you go, so I just got a quick tip on that. There's a link to install the successor for your rev share. So you put in, you need a driver's license, but you name a successor, then a primary and a secondary successor. So even if you have a couple of people in your rev share, you don't know who potentially could do it up, and you really should get that done just for paperwork's done, so you have somebody that will take it over if something happens to you. So
totally. So thanks, Dylan. He's a little better. You can do a successor. You can go online to Enterprise Back Office, your revenue share. They have the tab. You can click on it and put some people that will be successors of that. I would suggest you do that sooner than later, again, because who knows what could happen.
Right. Yeah, that's such a good point he brought up. So if your spouse currently is the person you think would be the successor for your revenue share, there is a form, and maybe you can do this now in the back office too, like he was saying, but you have to fill out a form that says who would be the next successor. And so if you don't do that, and you and your spouse, or you and the significant other, or you and the person you had as your initial successor, that's going to cause a huge problem. So everybody fill it out. And also remember that if you want it to go to your kids, so let's say again, you and your spouse, and then you want it to go to your kids, and your kids aren't going to be 18 today, right? Then you need to have someone else. A will does not take care of that. Okay. This is separate. So the will does not say, you can put it in your will, but revenue share actually is not dictated by the will. So make sure then that you have like whoever else you want to be that successor. And then you're going to have a separate agreement for it to go back to the kids, but that actually isn't currently covered in our rev share. So just get the successor form filled out. It's that important.
Yeah. Good point. And Vardit, you had a question?
Yes, hi. I wanted to ask, these people has to have license, right?
Yes, correct. Because it is commissions being transferred.
So if they don't have, you still put their names and then after they have to get license, or?
I think EXP gives them, is it almost a year?
Well, you have 12 months to get your license, your current license.
Yeah.
It's all laid out. Go in my EXP, there's a tab that says name your successor, open the page, you can fill it out, and then you're done. And it has a bunch of FAQs and all the information there.
Okay, thank you.
So it still gives you a lot of time, 12 months. I mean, if you don't have it, I mean, you could probably get your license in 12 months.
Okay.
So, any questions on some of Stacie's slides shows on the EXP like attraction pieces? Some of that method. I know we got kind of sidebar a little bit. Sorry, I threw it out there on that part, on the residual. But anything on the side of what you're doing? I mean, you built your organization at EXP. You've been here how long again now? For five years?
Nope, 3.
3 years. Okay. In 3 years, you built an organization of 600 agents. That's pretty amazing. 3 years. And were you focused on it 100% from day one, or is it something that you kind of gradually got into because you were doing real estate too, though, right? So what did that look like?
Yeah. So no, I was not selling anymore. So I didn't bring over a team. I didn't bring over anybody, just me. And so revenue share was my focus along with coaching. So I was running a coaching organization. So for those of you that are busy full-time selling real estate, I was busy full-time running the coaching company, like the back end. And I had some clients I was coaching. And so for me, the shift was once, like I said, I just looked at it as a platform for someone else to do their business on. And it just offered them a lot of options and a lot of flexibility. Like we can be really flexible because of our structure. Then I just introduced it. And again, I just was like, hey, will you take a look? I promise I wouldn't waste your time. It may not fit. You may know somebody else that it fits for, but you have to take a look. Even if you're going to use it and go back to your broker to do a better deal, good for you. But you have to look at it. And so that goodwill, that value that I've added for years and years with agents, either being good, a nice agent to do business with, or I've coached them in their business, those were the conversations I had.
Gotcha. Awesome. I love it. Ronnie, you had a question?
What do you use as a CRM? And if you use a CRM to nurture campaigns to agents, what's the frequency and style of content that you find to be effective?
Yeah, really good. I don't think I've mastered the nurture game with content. I do use a CRM. So I used CRM Grow for 2 out of my 3 years. So this last year I switched over to Go High Level. But that's quite the beast. Like I wouldn't recommend anybody really truly got on it because there's just a lot of build out to it. There's a lot of build out. But I think anything that you can do to help their business works. It's just like real estate, where if you put everybody on a nurture campaign and they never hear from you, or maybe they hear from you once in a while, do they feel really taken care of? Like you care about them? Not really, because everybody knows it's like a drip email, or everybody knows like you're just blanketing this stuff. So I would say try to make it like when you're finding out what people are looking for, and if they have a production goal, then when you guys have these things, you could even shoot a little video or a little email. Hey, top 3 things I learned on my community meeting this week. Top, couple things to look for. If you ever want to be in the room, let me know. So I think it's more personal things. And then I've just never found like automatic drips or anything work really well for nurture.
Good point.
Thanks.
Yeah, good question. I wish it did. If anyone knows, send it my way.
I don't think there's a really right or wrong answer to that. The truth is, I think on one side of the coin, I do see what you're saying, Stacie, that people kind of get that notion that honestly it's a drip. But on the other side of the coin, yeah, it's the drip that they ultimately get it and the right time hits, that it hits the right moment, and they think that that drip is like important, right? So there's 2 sides that I think that work, and both sides are relevant. I guess
it just can't be your only mode.
Oh,
yeah. But you get credit for those.
I got into the Go High Level too, and I'm actually very wow with Go High Level. So, and I'm not very techie at all. So it's blowing my mind, and I'm kind of a little bit like paralyzed with it. I'm kind of sitting there where I go, ooh. So yeah, go with the one that works for you guys. Because the truth is, if you don't find one that works with you, you won't do it at all, which is where I'm at right now, to be honest. I'm in this paralyzed stage. Well, I'm not moving on it because it's kind of making me nervous. So whatever. It's a good place and a bad place. But yeah, go with what what works for you. Awesome. Any more questions you have? I mean, we got a little bit more time. We've got 10 or 15 more minutes, but if we don't, we might be able to end this early. But I appreciate you coming out, Stacie, to give this insight on that on Revenue Share. It's amazing. All the way from South Dakota, and I know it's cold over here. I'm sorry to hear that. It's warmer out here in California. It's like 60. It's a little double where you're at. But I'm ready to go back home to Hawaii where it's like 80. So we're gonna enjoy. But yes, looking forward. I'm so grateful for all you guys on this call. I appreciate that. I hope this was insightful for you guys, what Stacie brought today to the table. I think the revenue share piece is something that a lot of EXP agents kind of struggle with because they come in with the notion of selling real estate, which that's what we do. We sell real estate. But the reality is we have this extra umbrella of opportunity here that most will probably not take advantage of because they feel like it's like completely opposite of what they're doing when it's not. It's the same exact thing. I want you to keep that in mind. This is what Stacie brought. It's kind of very relevant. It's exactly what we're doing already. And it's a great piece to add to your business. A couple more questions. Miko, you had a question? You raise your hand, Miko? You raise your hand, Miko? If you don't, go ahead. Just turn your microphone on and ask. Go for it. You don't have to send a chat box. If you have a question, go for it. Is your mic muted?
I have a difficulty, so could you read out my chat box? I appreciate it.
Okay. Well, we could get. Whoa. Okay. So, the numerous EXP agents have approached her with offers to join President or President one of these. Okay, so multi-level marketing, the whole myth and stigma of EXP being multi-level marketing. And multiple people have reached out to her. What do you have in that response, Stacie, about getting those on an objection handler of being told that we're a multi-level marketing company and somebody been hit up multiple times with other people? And how should you respond to that kind of?
I mean, there's a few ways you can go, but number one, to me, if that's her first reaction when you talk about EXP, she feels like she's just a number or a wheel, a cog in the wheel. Everybody's coming at her with, you should join, we make money off you, like that's why I'm interested in talking to you. So you can't, it's just like Gary Vee's book, right? Like jab, 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 right hook. And what that means for us is value, 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 then ask. So right now she is saying there is not enough in our emotional bank account together for you to ask me this yet. So add value to her, show her what it's like, invite her so she understands it's not multi-level marketing. Our compensation is built similar to that, and there's actually nothing wrong with it. So you can also go down that road, Gene Frederick did the napkin presentation, the new one from Maui in last February. Listen to that. That explains how every company is a pyramid, right? You've got the franchise owners, you've got the regional owners, you've got the manager in the office, and then you. And who feeds that income up? The agents. EXP put us just in the same square. They get 50%, we get 50%. And that's how we run. So multi-level in terms of the company makes money when you come in and they share some of their portion with me. When you go to Coldwell Banker makes money from you, but they don't share back to the person that brought them there. And that's just the difference. It doesn't cost you anymore. Let's take that off the table. Is that the thing that's bothering you? Like, what else are you looking for in your business? What's important to you? And just get through. That's just the easiest thing to say when they don't want to talk more yet. So we just have to add value right now and not ask.
100%. A lot of people at this point, I mean, if we go back to the beginning when I first got here in 2016, people didn't even know who EXP even was. And then you had to go through that little challenge of explaining who EXP was and why were our colors the way we were. Why is our logo ugly? What does EXP even stand for? That was where we had conversations about. But now we're 2023, and everybody, for the most part, unless you lived under a rock, has heard about EXP and has probably been hit up at least once for the majority part. So now, yes, your conversation can be different. Now you're going to have to confront and go back to what she says. It's the value, 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 value. You can't earn trust from anybody unless you give them a reason to trust you. That's how friendships work in the real world. You're not going to walk up to a stranger and ask for $50 or even $5 unless you give them some respect and they respect you back. That's earned. That trust is earned. So now you got to go through a process of going through and navigating through all these people that have made connections and reached out to them and build that trust. It's going to take a lot longer. It's not going to be the one hit base hit and all of a sudden home run. This is now playing baseball. First base, second base, third base, maybe home. Maybe you get out. Don't know. But you got to play the game. That's where we're at. So yes, hope that answered your question, Miko. Thank you for saying that, Stacie. Yes, this is now a conversation of deposit before you can withdraw. That's the known fact in any aspect of our life. So awesome. All right. Well, we're down towards the end here. Again, I appreciate your time, Stacie. Thanks for coming on and giving us your wealth of knowledge and your advice and some of that stuff. I hope some of this sunk into you guys on the EXP revenue share side a little bit on how this is an amazing opportunity for you guys to add to your toolbox for 2024. This is a great piece to add. We've never added to our business plan before, right? We may have said buyer presentations, listing presentations. That's going to be our business plan for next year. How about we throw in a third leg of agent attraction business in our business plan? Might take 5 minutes, might take 10. Utilize us. This is a leverage of power above you. We will come on a call and join you guys anytime. I will join on any call anytime. You guys all have my Calendly link. So feel free. Use me. I'm used to it my whole life in a good way. Finally, it's paying off. All right. Well, you guys have an amazing week. Stacie, again, God bless you. Thank you. Look forward to seeing you again. And you guys go out and crush this week. Love you all. And don't forget, EXP Explained on Thursday. We'll see you guys. I'll be in better health too by Thursday. See you guys then. Love you guys. Have an amazing week. Thanks a lot, Stacie. Talk to you guys soon.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you, Stacie.